So, welcome everybody to the UKBC where Budgies come first. And this is the first of a meeting where I've got lots of members on the screen. So it's going to be nice to catch up with pet and aviary keepers. So welcome Julie, Barty and Claire.
Thank you.
And I think our first question should be, why Budgies and how did you start? So if we go with Claire first.
Oh, good question. So it started when I was quite small, would have been probably even earlier than 10, I think. And my parents brought us to, me and my sister, as kids. I've got such a bad memory generally. I just remember them being in the house in a tall cylindrical cage. It's funny how you play in your mind, isn't it? And we had a green one and a blue one, and mine was the blue one. And it's funny, that's been a kind of common theme all the way through, really. Yeah. So just pets, we never down the breeder sort of side of things. But my dad did get them from I think it was his boss that was a budgie breeder.
Right.
Did get him from a proper breeder. But again, I just think the knowledge wasn't out there really. I think one of them lasted till he was about 10. But we used to use all sprays and different things, in the house. It's just awful when you look back at how long ago this was. But that was my taster into it. Like I said, I was really young, and then I continued right through till I was about, must have been early 20s, with a couple, 2 or 3 more after that, just single birds on their own. But I just found that I just think you're either a bird person or you're not. And I just always have been. That first experience was it. And ever since then, I've been a bird person. And with the single ones, I bonded with them and just had a natural knack of training them. And just, find that I'm in tune with them. And then I left home when I was 23, didn't take any birds with me. And for years, I didn't have one. And, sometimes you think it's fate when these things come into your life. Moved into where I am now 7.5 years ago. And the new neighbours invited us over. So we went round and I saw they had a budgie in a cage. And I was like, oh wow. So lovely. I'm just like, completely smitten. And you wouldn't believe this. I just said to my next door neighbour, if you ever go on holiday, I'll look after him for you if you want. Because they did go away a lot. And as he was a single bird, I was a bit conscious of leaving him and whatever. So she said, yeah, no problem. So we'd been here a year. I looked after him and he never went back home. I didn't steal him. Honestly, I didn't steal him. It was I think she was quite glad, because I think it was probably a bit of a I don't want to say a burden, but they're very social people and they just didn't have the time to commit to him. And I was, like I said, smitten. I was like, yes, of course I'll have him. And he's been the best little thing that's happened. And I've got, in my older advancing years, suddenly I'm kind of back to feeling 10 again. It's like, I got a budgie again. And it's great. And I think I've had him 7 years now. So I'm back in it. So yeah, I am a bird.
Brilliant. That's lovely. Yeah. So Barty, what about yourself?
We had budgies as when I was a child, because everybody had a budgie. Everybody had a budgie in the corner of the room. It was let out for an hour on a Sunday, because that's the way it was in those days. A packet of trill, a swing, a wobbly toy on the bottom, and you let it out on a Sunday. And everybody seemed to have the same cage with 3 little birds on the bottom. And it was just there. But then 2 years ago, my mother had a stroke. And it was quite bad. She lost her speech. And when it came back, it was very slurred. So she wouldn't speak to anybody. She just went silent. So we bought her a budgie. And she started to talk to the budgie. And the budgie started talking back. And I have to sort of share the budgie with her. But it's been the best thing ever for her rehabilitation. Has been the best thing for her, because she gives it loads of attention when I'm not there to give it attention. It's got 3 adults that just run after it and make sure that he's okay. Very sociable, chatters away, and my mother has now regained her speech.
Wow, that's
Oh.
really good.
Mm.
And does he free fly more than just a Sunday?
Is out from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night in the
Brilliant.
sitting room with her, and he's just so social. He's gorgeous. He's absolutely.
Superb.
My heart aches when I'm away from him. And she keeps saying to me, "I'm going to get you a budgie of your own," and I said, "No, I want that budgie. You get another one and give me him."
Yeah. Yeah, you certainly do get attached to the ones that make you smile the most, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. And Julie?
Yeah, I've literally had a flock of budgies since a year gone February, so 14, 15 months. Never had budgies before. Literally had an older friend who had an outdoor aviary with 24, 26 budgies in it. And a granddaughter had been looking after them for her when she'd gone on holiday. And I think the previous year hadn't looked after them as well as she would have liked them. So I says to her, "I'll look after them for you. They can't be difficult to look after. Show me what you need me to do and I'll do it for you." And literally I was just hooked. Looked after these budgies for 2 weeks and just absolutely loved them. So whenever I went to see her, we always ended off in the aviary looking at the birds. And then she'd had COVID and funnily enough developed chest issues and allergies and things, and said to me one day, "Julie, I'm going to have to sell my birds. I can't have them anymore. I'm allergic to them. They're affecting my chest." And I sort of came home and said to me hubby, "Oh, she's got to get rid of the birds." And my hubby says to me, "Do you want them?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I do, yeah." So then I'm sort of scouring through the internet trying to find an aviary or somewhere that would come and build me an aviary. And literally had this aviary built. And then about a week later, these 26 birds arrived.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I'm absolutely still hooked. Love them. The best thing I ever did, honestly. Yeah, best hobby ever.
Wow. Wow. I mean, mine, funny enough, my dad has always had pigeons. And he's raced them from, I think he was about 10 or 11 when he started racing pigeons. So I've always been up around, brought up around pigeons and that. But pigeon fanciers, I don't know if you know, but they are, or they can be quite a hard stock person. If it's no good, it goes. So it was quite a hard, quite a learning curve with Dad. But when I was old enough, I used to do the trapping and used to take the rubber ring off its leg and it come in from the race. You had to put it in a thimble, put it in a clock and strike a clock. So I learned an awful lot. But funny enough, pigeon men, they don't keep them warm. There's plenty of airflow and things. So I thought, I don't know whether I really want these pigeons. And then all of a sudden I went to the New Forest show with my to be brother and sister-in-law. Didn't know it at the time, but they ended up being my brother and sister-in-law. So there was a Totten cage bird societies there and all these budgies, and I was like, oh my god, I can have something in a cage, So looked around and I sort of ummed and ahed because I had nothing at home, had no cage, no seed, nothing. And in the end, I went back at the end of the day and bought this old, I remember, grey-green hen. She lasted 3 weeks. It was an old stock hen, and as everybody, I knew nothing. I didn't even know it was a hen at the time. And yeah, so she died. But and then my dad got me a budgie from a friend, little blue cockbird, and he was in a round cage, funnily enough. But back then he did come out and he did start to talk, and then it's strange, I don't actually remember what happened to him. It's really weird. I just don't remember, and Mum and Dad don't really remember either. So something bad must have happened. They just don't want to tell me. But yeah, I was sort of in my sort of very early teens then, and went off to college, did all my school and college work, and then came back, and a friend was selling or giving up an aviary full of cockatiels, quail, and budgies. So I had all of these, and I built this very poor aviary. It had very thin plywood on the back, done all the wrong things, and got psittacosis, and had to basically wipe the entire lot out, because they didn't react to any meds or anything, Bactral or anything. But then by then a friend told me about somebody else, went and looked at these budgies, and he had a shed full of lutinos and albinos, so yellow and white everywhere, and they were show-birds. And I just got hooked, and we're still friends now. Even now, that chap, he looks after my show cages for me, funnily enough. And then the rest is history, and that was what, 30 years ago.
Wow.
So well, actually, it must be more than that, actually, because of my original budgie. I was back when I was in my early teens. So yeah, but I've had what I class show budgies and sort of understand what I was doing for about 30 years. And my brother-in-law built my first shed, and you've probably seen the pictures of my bird room. My original shed is in that bird room. So even the bird room is 30 odd years old, or parts of it.
Wow.
It just went from like 6 foot by 6 foot to 30 foot by 10 foot. In a way, it all sounds very similar, doesn't it, to us all? Because at the heart of it is a budgie or any bird, So yeah, so. So we have got some pictures, Julie, of your aviary, I think, haven't we?
Yeah.
So so that's your aviary you had built.
That's it. Yes, so I ordered it from a company in Stafford, I think they were. They came and delivered it and built it for me. So it's 10 foot long by 6 foot high by 6 foot wide. So that the flight's 6 foot by 6 foot, and then the rest's inside. So there's a safety porch. But literally, when it came, obviously there was nothing inside it. I think one of the photos shows you the inside of it with absolutely nothing in it. That there are, as it stands at the minute, that's the one. Yes,
there we go.
It was literally bare like that. So you kind of look at it and think, right, I'm not really sure. But then as luck would have it, literally before we put the birds in, I thought I needed to do a lot of research. And while I was waiting for the aviary to be delivered, I researched, came across the UKBC quite by chance, really, joined, and then got all this fantastic information about insulating the walls. I needed to put a door on the opening because there was no door on it. It was just literally a hole. So, the big thing about them not being in a draft, that the fine full but not in the draft. So literally over the next few weeks, I just kind of added things to it, adjusted it as I needed to. And then one of the big things I found, you can see there, is I raised the floor, because I've got a couple of really old hens who don't fly very much at all. In fact, one of them, she can't fly at all, bless her. So if she came off one of the perches, it was a good kind of 4 or 5 foot drop to the floor for her. And my hubby's not really into DIY, bless him, but he put me a false floor in so I can take all that floor out for cleaning, you know, to sort of hoover through everything. And it's been fantastic. We put the little ladder in for her, so she quite happily goes up and down there now. In fact, most of the birds, I'd say, climb up and down the ladder rather than flying up to the hatch. So yeah, it's like when you look at it as it was delivered, it's totally different now to how it was before. But again, all of that is because of using the UKBC and all the
that's good
that we've got from the likes of yourself and Kevin and all the other, you know, all the other members of it. Yeah.
But it's funny, you go to a lot of show breeders, and mine are the same. We have what we call half flights, and you've almost created a half flight there. So we have a raised floor, makes it a lot easier to clean. I have got a full height flight, which probably this year or next year will be its last year, because I'm going to convert it to half flight, because it cleaning is a lot easier. It's half the time. So yeah, definitely. Well, plus as well, I'm not bending down or trying to kind of get right into the back. I mean, I do clean obviously underneath it, but it doesn't get as dirty as it used to when the birds had got the full height of it. Plus I've got storage space underneath as well. That's right. Yeah, because I don't suppose you have a lot of storage. Well, if you didn't have that, you probably wouldn't have any in there, would you? No, although to be fair, the end of last year, because obviously you know what it's like, you get something and then you think, oh, I need to add this and I need to add that. I now have a 5 foot by 4 foot shed at the other side of the patio. Excellent. That's full of bird stuff. That's purely my shed for all my bird stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you definitely need somewhere to sow seed, don't you? You know, if that gets wet and ruined, you know, you're on a potential. Yeah. So that's all boxed up. It's in the bag, but it's boxed up in, you know, like big kind of plastic toy boxes with lids on and everything. Yeah. So that's right. Want mice or anything. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of as it stands now. Yeah. And it's great, but there's always something new. In fact, when we did it, we insulated it and used wood to obviously to panel walls. And now I'm like, oh, I think we need to take it off and we need to put like, you know, like the bathroom panel and that you can wipe over. Well, there's a company called Cladding Monkey. Strange name, I know, on the internet, and you can buy 8x4 sheets, and they do 2 standards. They do a really hard, which is quite expensive, one, which I don't know what it is now, but you can buy that, or there is a slightly cheaper one, which I used, and I bought it. I didn't realize there was a quality difference until I actually fitted it, and the cheaper one is a softer material which the birds can chew very easily. But when you put it on the wall, as long as you seal the corners and everything, mine so far, and it's been up a year or probably it must be a year or so now, and they haven't chewed any of it because they can't get to it. Right. So the bathroom panels, the actual ones that are for showers and bathrooms, they are super expensive. Right. But if you have a look on Cladding Monkey, you'll see what I mean. There are, and I think I ordered like 20 sheets at the time. Well, no, it wasn't that many. And now my next phase of my shed is actually to do the ceiling with the stuff as well. Yeah. And then I'll be completely sealed. You know, some people go, oh, you don't want to seal it all in plastic, but I've got such good ventilation. It's not a problem. I have air coming in at the bottom and going out the top, and fans, and so but that's an option, you know, to have a look at. So yeah, definitely, that's worth knowing that. And the thing is, you don't know, do you, is I've kind of adjusted things with it.
It's only because I've been looking on the website or on the Facebook page, and then like you've just kind of said, oh, have a look on Clad and Monkey. People have given you other ideas, and then you start looking at things and thinking, oh yeah, I could just change that for that, and I can just add that. It's never ending.
The one thing I find with the hobby though, and when I know you guys aren't breeding, and I think with being a breeder that you're always looking for, or I used to be looking for that next super food or super supplement to make all my problems go away. And what happened with me a good few years ago, probably 5 years ago, I actually went completely the opposite way, overdid everything and caused myself all sorts of problems. So I think sometimes it's amazing to have this pool of knowledge, but I think sometimes you have to pinch yourself, take a step back and go, what does this actually mean to me? And now, I mean, if somebody said to me, oh, go and feed, I don't know, some new vegetable, I would actually be looking and I'd write down everything that was in that ingredient. I know it's a veg, what vitamins am I going to get? And then I'd look at my list of what I've already got and go, no, I don't need that because I'm doubling up. And but that's what I didn't do years ago, and I doubled up on so many things. I had all these products, one soft food mix was probably a 50 quid bowl in money's wise. It was horrendous. So but no, I mean, the knowledge we've gathered from just the videos, I think if you just went through the interviews, forget the rest, that there's quite a bit of information in there. And that's a little bit why I wanted to do something like this with a pet breeder and aviary people, because we can talk about breeding and all that, but sometimes it's not all relevant to you guys. What seed do you feed? So Julie.
I give mine Hates. I swap them over onto that pretty quick, actually. Yeah.
Anybody, just do you use one of their proprietary mixes, or
they have the Genesis mix?
Yeah,
they like that right from the get-go. I mean, I introduced it really slowly, but they've much to prefer it. There's a lot less taste, definitely.
Good. Barty?
I use Hayes, and I get the mix that they do for people who can't work it out for themselves. So I get the Budgie mix that's got a little bit of tonic in. It smells of aniseed. It's lovely. It smells lovely. But my bird adores Trill. Absolutely adores Trill. When he sees the box, he starts jumping up and down.
Yeah.
So on a Sunday, he's allowed Trill.
That is probably because it's a high millet mix. So some of them, if any breeders talk to you about a percentage mix, so 60-40 or whatever it might be, what they actually mean is canary seed and millet. And it might be a mixed millet. So you might have 60% millet to 40% canary, which to me is the wrong way around. I'd rather see a higher canary. I mean, I feed a bowl of canary and a bowl of French white millet. That's it. That is my basic seed. But when you see my soft food mix, we haven't got enough time to talk about all the seeds that go into that. We really haven't. Tesco's love me. And then there's the sprouted seed as well. Mine do get a good variety, but their basic daily mix is to stop wastage. I used to buy a mix that the BS did, and one of the main people, and I was wasting so much seed. And now all I've got to do is put all my canary in a bowl, put it through my widowing machine, canary's clean, millet clean, and then that goes in the flights. So it's so easy. So
I remember asking you at the very beginning, what I should do and how I was feeding him trill. And I remember you said to me, no, don't give him trill, give a good 50-50 mix.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
I did that. I did that for a while, but I could see he was hankering after the trill. I could see
But
it.
that's the thing. I mean, a happy budgie is, a full belly, but a full crop, full belly. But yeah, so. And Claire, what about yourself?
Oh God, talk about, I've got Mr. Fussy Pants. Honestly, that's one of his nicknames, Mr. Fussy Pants. Because when I first got him, because I adopted him when he was 3, you see. So
Bad habits.
they were inbuilt, that it was just concrete. So and this is before I joined the club, obviously the club didn't exist then as well.
No.
So I just thought, I did the same thing, trail. So I went and bought the box of trail, like you did. Looks like it's nutritional, and he was fine. And then I think I obviously did some more research, because I am a bit of a research buff on things. And I was like, there's got to be something else. And I saw something in some of the pet stores that sell loose seed.
Yeah.
And there was something that it had sunflower seeds in and a few other different types of seeds, and it was for budgies. And I thought, well, I'll buy that. It was at a local shop that did it, and he was fine on it. He took to it was fine. Then something happened. He had a crop infection, and I don't know why he had the crop infection to begin with. I've probably got a good idea, because I wasn't giving him supplements and stuff like that. But I've ended up changing his food a couple of times, which he was fine with. But then I bought Haith's. So when I joined the club, and I was like,
yeah,
seed, let's get that. Changed it to Haith's, put it in. He knew I didn't do it. I just did it. I just did a straight.
Yeah.
Just changed it, and I shouldn't have. But I think even if I'd have put a bit of Haith's in, he'd have known. He knows. He can smell it. I don't know what it is. He just knows. And he refused to eat. He literally refused to eat. He didn't eat for 24 hours. And that was probably my fault, because I thought I'm going to stick to my guns, because they were going to see who gives in first, which is wrong of me. I shouldn't have done that, because he ended up getting another infection. So that was another vet's visit. So and that was like a stay overnight for 2 nights. It was a really expensive job. So I've reverted back to Pets at Home. They do like a premium bag, which has got the sunflower seeds in. It's got everything in that actually he doesn't eat. He might eat the odd sunflower seed. He doesn't eat egg food at all, or dried egg. What's the white seeds? They're like white. They're quite big and they're white.
Are they a sunflower? Or a sawflower?
That's it.
Yeah.
There's loads of those in it. He won't touch them. Them. Just eats the seed. So I'm a bit, Mr. Fussy Pants. It's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, and that's sometimes why it's really good to buy what I call straights. If I ever say straights, I mean canary, millet, sunflower, and then you make your own mix. But I tell you what, the one thing, and I mean, I'm going to say it, open seed in a shop, to me, is a no-no, because the one thing that they don't do is clean it. So it sits in a shop, it gets moths. I look after a lady down the road. She's got 2 of my budgies, and she always just rings me up, getting low on seed. Yeah, can I have some Avi mix? Yeah, I'll order it all, and just pays me back what I pay for it, sort of thing. And one day I went down there, and this was before she changed over to my seed. Went in and she said, Neil, even with my poor eyesight, you've got to tell me, is this seed moving? So I put it in, put the bowl on the table, and I looked in and I went, slam the lid shut, and it was little tiny white maggots from a moth. I have looked it up actually. You've only got to look on Google and put seed, what lives in seed sort of thing, and that has come from it being open in the shops. So they're eating all that poo that moth produces. So I mean, if I could, one more tip for the night is don't buy loose seed if you really don't. If you do, put it in the freezer and kill off all the bugs.
That's what I do actually with my seed. When I open the bag from Pets at Home, I open the bag, I put one of those bag clips on it, and I keep it in like a little freezer section in my fridge.
But you see, what your seed, when it's a bag of seed that is sealed, it'll have come out of the processing clean and been bagged clean.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, a lot of breeders open a bag of seeds, sniff and blow. So if you get a big cloud of dust out of it, it's not clean, and they want to smell it fresh. Because a shiny seed is a polished seed. So it's gone through a polishing machine to clean it, basically make it look shiny, and then it's bagged and tagged. So yeah, but yeah, this lady, I mean, she even threw the pot away. She's on the pot already. It was like, in the bin.
You can't blame her for that, can you?
No, and thankfully, ever since, I mean, you know, I mean, my seed, I say that, I mean, I take my seed and I empty it into big tubs, but like you guys, you know, lids on, clips down, and never had a problem, and she certainly hasn't had a problem. So yeah, and well, we'll stay on feed, I think, then. So the greatest word ever, chop. It's just like, I never forget. I'll tell you a quick story. I never wanted to come on Facebook when it all first sort of came about, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that. But I kept seeing in the media and things, and other people were telling me about all these budgie groups and things, and I joined the show side of it first, and then I moved into the sort of pet side, because I don't know, I think I just got sort of dragged into it a little bit. But yeah, and then all these words started popping up, like chop and all the toys, you know. It's like, oh, toys for budgies, what's that? You know, so it really is, it's like it was a big learning curve. But now there's even people now coming into it of pet breeders, and they've never heard of chop, you know, and I get messages, I mean, my phone non-stop all day, people, you know, asking questions, and one of the regular ones is chop. So what do you guys use? Barty, you go first. Do you feed chop, or what do you do?
I use your recipe.
Oh, right, from the
Yes. And I
from the
even put the
pages.
little probiotic powder in that you suggested.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's your recipe. I can't do mealworms. I just can't. I can't face them.
I must admit, mine haven't had mealworms for a little while. And again, I'd tell you why, because of a quality issue. I had a bag that I opened it, did the sniff. Nah, don't like that. So I haven't actually given a lot of mealworms. They probably haven't had them for 6 or 7 weeks now. So whether I shouldn't pay for it, because my soft food mix is quite high in protein anyway. But yeah.
My bird absolutely adores porridge oats. Absolutely, he would die for them. And so I put porridge oats in it instead of the mealworm.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Claire?
What do you think, Mr. Fussy Pants?
Well, we saw your plate of food the other night, didn't we? And here's.
Well, you've actually brought back a memory, because when I did find out about it quite a long time ago, shortly after I first got him, and I thought I'd start to make my own, but I wasn't following a recipe, but I was just using greens, you know, it might have been spinach, carrot, cauliflower, just the staple kind of veggies really, and just whizzing them up in a little chopper.
Yeah.
And he was picking at them. He's one of those people that if he fancies something, he fancies it, and then if he doesn't, he doesn't, even if it's the same thing. It's really odd. So he was eating it for a little while, but I made the mistake, because you've just brought back a memory. When I said about the crop infection, that was why. I think it was my fault. What I was doing, I was making it up on a Sunday. I wasn't freezing it. I was just putting it in the fridge, and I was keeping it too long, I think. And I think that's
possible.
Infection. So I stopped doing it after that. And I haven't tried since, just because I know what he's like, and I'm just like, I would just waste so much money trying different things with him. So he has chard, like red chard, not the red leaf one, it's the green leaf one, but with the red stalks.
Right.
And he absolutely loves the red stalks, which is why when you look at some of the photos of him, he's red all down the side of his beak, because he just, it's so
Yeah.
juicy, it comes out. So he will eat the green as well, but he does eat the stalks of the chard. Sometimes he'll eat carrot, but it has to be cooked without salt, obviously. So usually he gets the leftovers from my Sunday roast. So we always put up a couple of, well, not a couple, just one carrot. And again, cabbage, some days he'll love it, other days doesn't want to know. Same with cauliflower, but it's all got to be cooked. It's got to be cooked.
Yeah.
Same with cauliflower. And sometimes, you know, thinking of his age, you know, he's 10 or 11 this year, because I'm his flock. There's been plenty of occasions when I've had to eat the food. Oh God, yeah, honestly, with him on me, and I'm eating the food, going yum 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 yum. We do that quite a lot. Yummy 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 means that's food and it's nice. So he has to watch me. But then what he does, and this is another one of those funny little traits that I don't know if anybody else has ever come across with the bird. Before he tries something other than seed, he licks it.
Oh, bless him.
He licks it first.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like the smell, he shakes his head. He goes, honestly, he shakes his head first if he doesn't like it. And if I persist, it'll be like, oh, okay, then you'll stop shaking his head. Then he licks it to see if he might like it.
That's adorable,
Amazing.
that, Claire.
It's really frustrating is what it is.
Oh
And
dear.
then he might take a nibble. So we haven't succeeded on the chop. I mean, I keep seeing it all the time, and I'm quite tempted to give it another go, because I know now from reading some of the posts that you can freeze it and freeze it in little bits, so that obviously you're not.
I mean, I would still say that if do as you're doing, really, you know, because he's still getting some goodness and you're not wasting it. But it does sound like he likes the high water content stuff quite well. So he probably doesn't drink much, you know, if he's eating.
Yeah. No, he does, because he doesn't like lettuce. He won't touch lettuce at all.
That's good. Lettuce is no good for him.
I know it isn't, but you know, but even things like cucumber, he won't eat a piece of cucumber. He won't eat.
Nor will I. Don't blame him. Oh, Satan's food.
Yeah, he doesn't. But you're right, because I think I've come to the conclusion now, at the age that he is as well, he likes what he likes. I know him well enough, and I give him vitamin and mineral supplements to make sure that he's getting that extra goodness that he should be getting through any sort of natural chop.
That's right. That's right. And Julie, what do you have your lot on?
Actually, it took a while, I have to be honest, because obviously with me just taking them on, they were quite used to what they'd been getting, and what they'd been fed was just seed and millet, constantly millet all day, every day. So at first I'd make up just quite basic, you know, veggies, whatever veggies I'd got, I'd kind of chop it up, put it in there, and for months and months it was just left. Then somebody on the group had said about using, is it Timothy hair with the dandelions in it?
Yeah.
I thought, well, I wonder if I put it on a tray and put the Timothy hair in with it, mix it up. So now that caused a lot of interest. That sort of got them going with it. Pretty good, actually. I'd say pretty much 70% of the flock will eat a bit of chop. And them that don't eat it, their partners eat it and feed it to them, which is pretty good. So they'll have pretty much whatever I've got in, veggies, and obviously a bit of scrambled egg thrown in, mealworms thrown in. I've tried couscous, porridge oats. We're not so bothered about porridge oats in our house, apparently.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's a standing joke, because normally I'll be in the kitchen prepping a bit of stuff for the Budgies. The hubby will come in and he'll be like, oh, what are we having for tea? That looks nice. And I'm like, no, mate, it's not for you.
There's burger and chips for you on the side.
The number of times he walks out the kitchen and his face is like thunder. Them Budgies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, so they're much better. But I would say I think it must have took a good 6 months to get them to even go anywhere near it. It literally was perseverance. Sweet corn was about one of the first things that really drew them in.
Yeah.
So then I found if I put sweet corn as the main bit and then added other bits to it over like a length of time, that got them a little bit more interested as well.
Yeah.
But they get it pretty much every other day now.
Yeah. I think, I mean, again, you know, trying to teach is again, sometimes it's teaching the person what to do to get the budgie used to it. And what we always say is if we can get to more breeders to get their diet right from when they're breeding the bird, so the parents are getting what they need, giving it to the babies, and the babies are then coming on to what they want to eat.
Yeah.
They come to you as pet owners in a better state and eating a variety of food. Because I mean, when I started mine on mealworms, I just didn't feed them to the adults because I was just told not to, and gave them to the babies, and the babies demolished them. And as adults now, they're used to it.
Yeah.
But some of the tricks I've seen and told people to try was, if you're like Claire and Barty, would be to eat an apple in front of your hand-tamed budgie, and 9 out of 10 times they'll want a bit.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, mine
No,
does.
no, it'll
Mine
look at
does.
me and go, no thanks.
Really.
Or shake his head. No.
Because that's funny enough, the lady down the road, she hers don't come out very often now because she's not very good at walking unaided, so she's a little bit worried about knocking things and whatever. But she got hers to eat from the cage, apple and things, by sitting next to it and eating themselves, and they both wanted a bit, so she gave them a bit, and then we've never looked back. But the other one, the good one I did get somebody to try and it worked, was making kebabs and hang them in the aviaries.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah, they were absolutely brilliant. And we made up some willow skewers, basically, so they were, you know, it's safe wood. Just put a little point on the end, and you just slid carrot, peppers, all sorts up, and then we just hung it up in the aviary, and it was, they did take 2 or 3 days to you know, we changed it daily, but by about the 3rd or 4th day they demolished it within about half an hour. Most of it was on the floor. You know, I can't say they'd eaten much, but that's a regular occurrence for that lady now. She puts it in all the time, and I've obviously learned about Avi mix years ago, so she puts Avi mix, she sprinkles Avi mix on it, because we find it obviously sticks better to wet foods and things.
So, what about fruit, Neil? Because I find mine just aren't bothered about fruit at all.
Again, I think it comes back to what you've done as babies, really. But it is, if you think they're taste buds, it must be very weird to have something like an orange or an lemon in that. But again, going back to breeders, I know a chap who he gives them banana skins. He'll just cut up apples, oranges and lemons. They go in whole, because again, I think a lot of people think that the lemon and the oranges aid this problem called avian gastric yeast, because it raises the pH level of the bird's stomach and kills off the bad bacteria and that. But I mean, I've never tried it, but people do feed. Well, I certainly know they feed apple, orange, pear, you know.
Would you say to keep it limited though? Because obviously fruit's got a lot of natural sugar, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if I was to do a skewer, let's say, I don't know, 6 inches long, there'd probably only be 2 bits of fruit on there the whole way through, you know, a piece of apple. Mine seem to like pears. I don't know why, but and of course you have to be careful with some of the pips in fruit as well. So, you know, because some of them have got, I want to say arsenic or cyanide.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, one of them. Kevin will probably tell me. yeah, there's certainly, you certainly have to be very careful, take all the pips out. At the time I wasn't sure which way around it was, so this lady just takes any pips out.
Yeah.
Funny, isn't it? Because I think, because mine has got he likes a bit of raspberry,
Yeah.
but not all the time. Again, it's just now and again. But you think of like, because he's frightened of shapes of things as well. But a raspberry, it was that tempted his curiosity. So
Yeah.
again, if it's a really nice, sweet, you know, not the ones that make you go, oh, you know, just a really nice raspberry, he'll have a little lick of those, and he likes tomato. So it's another like acidic fruit, but he won't have it all the time. But and again, you think shoving a tomato in the face of a budgie, he probably would have gone, oh, but he didn't. And he saw me eating it and he fancied it. So that's why I call him Mr. Fussy Pants. He really knows what he wants and what he doesn't. You talk about those skewers. I think you can, for the pet budgies, you can buy, it's like a metal.
Yeah, you can, yeah. But of course, the lady I dealt with wasn't in the aviary all the time, so we wanted something safe that wasn't going to do any damage, you know. And we just we put I can't remember what we put a hook on the end, but it was actually physically clamped to the aviary, you know, so it couldn't come off or anything. But
that's right. I bought the metal thing, put a couple of bits of fruit or veggies on it, stuck it, and just totally ignored it. It's like, I'm going to pretend that's not there.
Yeah, let's just forget it. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. So I mean, I was going to keep this to sort of an hour. So I can't believe we've only got 9 minutes left. Who cares if we overrun though, eh? I suppose one thing that I'm very conscious of with being where I am on the UKBC is we want to make sure we're doing everything we can for you guys, really, because when I first started with the UKBC, I always said to people that we've got a missing group of fanciers, because you are fanciers as far as we're concerned, and there's this missing group. And when I looked into it, because you saw people like Shannon's page, the Budgie Lovers, there was the original Budgie page that I was on got shut down in the end. Had a bit of a falling out with the person that ran it, but you know, that's the way it goes. But that had thousands. I mean, Shannon's done really well with hers. There's thousands on there, but this was literally 3,000 or 4,000 people. And all of a sudden, I think that made me think, God, yeah, we're missing a whole group of fanciers, you know, the pet keepers, the aviary breeders. And funny enough, Kevin and the other guys were having the same thought about this new group of doing education through Kevin's lectures and everything. And I was actually going off in a slightly different direction, but got let down. And then the UKBC guys sort of picked me up on the rebound almost. But God, what a lucky rebound it was, you know.
Yes.
Because you know, but yeah, so we want to make sure that, you know, we're doing stuff for you. And I know you guys, you always do chip in, but if you had something you wanted us to do, could you think of anything off the top of your head now? Hey, we're doing our job right. Good.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know the only thing I would say, you know, because we've done this where we can see everybody.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably not possible because everybody's spread out across the country, but actually to have a physical get together of people.
Well, funny you should say that. Funny you should say that, because I will be advertising soon our show. And what we've done is I've been involved with exhibition birds for a long time, and so have the other guys. And that was where the thought came from to start with, was, you know, show birds and that, and then it developed into what is now the UKBC. So, and I've always said people like Shannon, yourself, Julie, in a way, not so much Barty and Claire, because they are house pets, and, you know, they've got their intricacies, haven't they, Claire? you know, there's nothing to say that, Julie, you couldn't catch up one of your favourite budgies from your
Yeah.
aviary, train it a little bit to sit in a show cage, and bring it along to our hobby breeders show. And that's
Right.
what we're going to be doing. So, but even if you don't want to do that, if you're anywhere close to Stafford Showground, we
Right.
are actually all going to be there on July the 9th.
All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we intend to do this every year. So it's not something you got to jump to this year, because it's the first year I'll have been running with Sav and a few others, the hobby breeder show. The exhibition side almost runs itself. The guys that are running that, they know it inside out. We've got new schedules and new ways of doing things, but that will run itself. But the hobby breeders, I want that to become almost a yearly gathering of faces, because it doesn't matter whether you bring birds or not. You know, if you bring
Yeah.
birds, even better, because then we can display all these wonderful birds. You know, I mean, I can't wait to see some of these hagaromas and fallows and,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
some of the real pretty ones, you know. And I'm hoping somebody might be bringing an easily clear bloody blackwing or something. I think there is, and they're very pretty, really stand
Wow.
out. They do. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, I intend to do more of the Zoom meetings for definite, because I think the other evening was really good, and hopefully we'll just build the numbers up. Excuse me. And but I'm hoping that the year's show will become more. You know, it will become our yearly social gathering, and we can meet up face to face. Because the good thing with Stafford Showground is there is no reason why we can't grow into that show halls. There's lots of halls we can move around.
Yeah.
If it's too big for where we're going this year, we'll go to another part of the hall.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing to say that we couldn't have a UKBC members area, you know.
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, I'd noticed last year, I'd gone to the Newark Bird Show I think that's March and October every year.
Yeah.
And literally took the Budgies on a year gone February. And my hubby said to me, oh, there's a bird show in Newark. And I mean, it's a good hour and 20 minutes drive from us, but we thought, oh, we'll go. It's a Sunday morning out. There was hundreds of people there, Neil.
Yeah.
I stood there looking, and I'm saying to me hubby, I never thought Budgies would be this popular.
Yeah.
You know, when literally there was just hundreds of people. There wasn't just Budgies. There was
that's right.
finches and other birds and what have you. But who knew birds were so popular? It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, our exhibition shows used to have entries of thousands.
Wow.
Yeah, just exhibition birds. And nobody even considered pet birds or these birds of colour that are about now, you know, the proper miniatures, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, and now this is all grown into something much bigger. But the Stafford show is also, it's all to do with the Parrot Society. So on the Saturday we'll have a table there, but not our main show. On the Saturday they have like this Parrots Pet Day. So they do macaw flying, and there was a talking competition when we were there.
Oh.
And they have lots of stands, you know, aviaries and some get a bit shy in the end and just sort of like, there's lots of people about. But some of them were very vocal, especially the macaws.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's sort of their pet day on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday is actually a sales day. So there are hundreds of stalls. You could actually you can book a table and sell your wares. You can have budgies and all your, you know, you can pick up seed, toys, aviaries, all sorts, you know. And you spend a lot of money there. But yeah, so and we've sort of tagged on to that for now. So, you know, so at least we're getting a footfall of people seeing who we are. And last year it was great because Sav and I did a talk I think it's on. I must actually try and find it actually because I want to put it on the main, the gallery. You know, that where all the videos are.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a talk about, you know, who we were and what our aims were. And we won. We did an Avery display and Sav bought her aromas, and we did a Chinese or a
Gorgeous
Japanese
those,
theme,
aren't they?
Japanese
remember
themed
that.
Avery, and we won best. I'm not sure it was best Avery, but we certainly won a paperweight and a
That's
load of other
good.
bits.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
it was a brilliant, and the great thing is my wife comes with me now. She's thoroughly enjoys that weekend away. So
that's good. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice because to be honest, it would be a long weekend if she didn't, you know. But of course, this time I'm bringing some of my birds up to show. So hopefully, you know,
Yeah. That'll
because
be good.
how far would Stafford be for you then, Julie?
I'm not sure. I'm in
No,
Rotherham. I'm in Rotherham in
yeah,
South Yorkshire. So,
fair
but you
old punch.
know in advance, and
Exactly, yeah,
if, you
exactly,
know, I'd come. Obviously, my hubby would drive. We'd
yeah.
come for the weekend kind of
Well,
thing.
that's what we do. I mean, this time we're travelling up on the Saturday. We'll stay in our usual Premier Inn, which is literally just round the corner from the showground. So it's
All right.
perfect.
Yeah.
And then we'll, you know, after the show, we'll probably have a very slow drive home on the Sunday night. I'm not great driving at night, but yeah,
Yeah. Take
slow
it
trundle
steady.
home.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
just
but
think it would be good if there's an opportunity for everybody, as many people as there
that's
could,
right. Yeah,
to get together, just to kind of, because like I said, when we've done Facebook Lives, absolutely fine. But then moving it up a notch to this, to Zoom,
yeah,
where you can see each other, that's great. But then actually to see people in person
yeah,
and
that's
see
right.
their birds, like yours and Sav's birds, and that would be
Yeah,
amazing, be fantastic.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, and again, that is what the Hobby Breeders show is all about, really, is to highlight some of these budgies that make the most beautiful colours and pets, you know, but get them out and show people what we're all about, really.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I mean, I even like some of the combinations. Well, the one I mentioned earlier, easily clear body blackwing, that's a combination that has just been put together by breeders. You know, I mean, the one that props up most of the time now in aviaries is the spangled dominant pied, which I think Coco was, who unfortunately passed away the other
Oh,
week.
I think
Um,
the forest might be like that as well.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be a spangled pied, but that's a really regular one because they're both dominant genes in the breeding, and they combine well, and they make a pretty bird. So you know.
yeah. I have to be honest, I am still just getting my head around working out whether they're a boy or a girl. Going
So
talking
yeah,
mutations
yeah.
goes
Well,
right over my head.
yeah. Somebody asked me the other day how on earth I do it. I mean, I don't get it always right. Kevin tried. Well, he did. He tripped me over with one. He did his safari trip. Oh, and he came and saw me. And he said, "Oh, I picked this bird up. What do you reckon it was?" And I could see that it was a fallow. I could see that it was a recessive pied, but I missed that it was a blackwing as well. And the only way you knew was the barrings on its tail. So until it
Oh,
turned round, I didn't know.
yeah.
Never. And you think, where on earth does that come from? You know.
Well, that's
But
complicated. That, yeah.
but somebody asked me, and I just said 30 years of asking questions,
Yeah,
and it is really that.
yeah.
You
And
know.
to be fair, when I first started, kind of looking at their seer and trying to work out whether they're a boy or a girl, I'd just look and think, I haven't got a clue. If it's blue, yeah, it's a boy. If it's brown, yeah, it's probably a girl.
Yeah.
Then when you started with pink and white nares, now I am a bit better. But again, that's reading through on the
Yeah.
Facebook page when people have asked. I'm sort of looking at the photo, thinking, right, I'll have a look and I'll have a guess myself before I look for sort of you or Kevin to put an answer
Yeah.
on.
But I tell you one thing that last year was the first year I actually looked at my records and went, where's that cockbird come from, or where's that hen come from? And I actually think now we're breeding birds that are slightly different. They're developing very different. I had I think 3 years ago a hen bird, but it was pink, no white nares, just pink. So we just said it
Oh.
was a cock bird. And then when I realised that it was actually a cinnamon, which is sex linked, it can't be a cock bird. It has to be a hen, and it turned out to be a hen. And it was really weird. And it wasn't until a point in time where her cere started to change. But the strange thing was she never had a brown cere. It was always white. But
Oh.
she bred really well. She's bred some. She was probably one of my best youngsters that year, and she went on to breed some of my best youngsters. So when people say, "Oh no, brown cere is my birding condition," it's not always about that. And I do think we're breeding a slightly different type of bird. Quite how or why, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but no, I think as long as people keep asking questions, there's plenty of knowledge out there, you know. And it's funny because we said the other day, we're almost trying to get people just to listen in the background, you know, because, you know, people that are nervous or don't want to ask questions, it's people like yourselves that go, actually, I'm going to ask this question. But there's 100 people sat on their keyboard going, oh, I want to know the answer to that, but are too worried or too scared to ask.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
and
that.
you know, and we talk to maybe 3 people within a post, but actually we're getting to probably 100, and that is perfect, you know. Because there's even on the lectures and all the videos, there's no comments that you can make on it. You just watch it.
Yeah.
If you want to make a comment, you put a post up on Facebook saying, oh, this is great, or what about this? But there's that 100 people that have watched it and gone, oh yeah, I've clocked that. And that's
to be
what we're
honest,
aiming.
I have to be honest, I was the same myself at first. I'd kind of look and think, oh, I'm a bit unsure about this. But I knew if I scrolled through on the Facebook page, somebody somewhere will have asked the question. And then I could read through the answers. And then as you get a little bit braver, or you get where you feel as though you've got a little bit more knowledge, so you're not going to sound totally stupid, then I felt as though like that, I'll ask that question now. Yeah.
It has. It's given me the confidence. Like I wasn't giving Boris iodine. I wasn't giving him calcium. I've been giving him that for a little while now, but I wouldn't have done it without the club. Wouldn't have
no. And to be honest, I think the one thing that I'm still learning about is the UV light if you don't want to feed calcium. And that's something that I've had to sort of almost accept and learn, because before it was like, no, you just feed it. You feed it. But there's actually people out there that don't want to give the supplements. They want to give good fresh veg and all the rest of it, and then want to work with the UV light and all the rest of it. Okay, you've still got to give a source of calcium. But yeah, so because I didn't realize that in parrots, the sunflowers are the thing that cause all the problems in parrots. You know, so even, you know, with your mix that has got sunflowers in it, Claire, it's great that he doesn't eat them all. You know, and I think that's where my control of my seeds comes from, is not wanting them to have too much of something. But one more question. So if there was one tip you wanted to give somebody else, what would it be? So if we start with Barty.
I think it would be not using things that affect the bird's breathing, because I don't think that is common knowledge amongst a lot of people. The things that can harm the bird, like the pans, the candles, the aerosols. You know, I now clean the windows in this house with, you know, the cleaner that you get especially for budgies. And mind, the rabbit one's the same ingredients inside.
Oh yeah, safe something, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I now clean the windows in my house with that.
Wow.
And it works.
Brilliant.
There's absolutely no chemicals used in this house now.
Wow.
Because the bird plays on the windowsill.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I must
so,
admit there's a lot of people who've got these now, these stick on window perches, haven't they?
yeah.
So yeah.
And as you know, if I don't think my bird licks things, but if he did, he's going to be licking chemicals.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's one big
yeah.
thing that I've learned. Just eliminate from the house anything that would do him harm.
They've got little hairs on their tongue. If you ever get chance, Claire, to see his tongue in
Oh.
almost slow motion, yeah. So there's a lot of receptors on their tongue, and that is, you know, I mean, they haven't got hands, so that, you know, that's why they bite and why they lick things. So yeah. So Claire, is there a tip you can pass on?
That I was going to say that, so I'm really glad that was the first thing that came up, because I think when you are a budgie owner, you just think, oh great, you just don't think about these things, and I think it is the number one thing is their health and safety. So I totally agree with that. So I was thinking of this, I thought, oh, what else could be a good tip? So that's in terms of like health and safety and well-being of the bird. In terms of being a pet owner for like a single bird or just a couple of birds, I see loads of posts on different budgie pages that I'm on as well, that I just kind of lurk on and just see what people do. It's always, oh, how do you tame your bird? How do you make your bird tame? Oh, he's not coming on my hand. Why is he not coming on my hand? You know, I've been trying for a few days, thinking days. It's persistence. It's being consistent with that persistency, I think. And it's just spending the time and having a lot of patience. That's the kind of three key words, I think, are consistency, being persistent, and being patient with your bird to get it to bond with you, and hopefully you know, get that element of tameness that you want with it. And things like the talking, I think they either develop that or they don't. I don't think it's a given that a bird will talk. It's just, that's just something the bird will either do or not. So yeah, my tip just for bird owners that want to be have a tame bird that they can enjoy and be really happy with, and make them hand tamed. Mine, he wasn't hand tamed when I got him, and he was 3 years old, and he's now completely hand tamed. He goes to other people. So, and that's just the effort from me of just all those three key things. I think it can be done.
Brilliant. Good. And then Julia, I suppose, what's your top tip for your aviary?
In fairness, for me, because my flock obviously didn't get Avimix or iodine when they lived with my friend, I would say that would be the first thing that I introduced them to. Again, only because of finding out from the UKBC. And I would say the difference in how they behave, in the fact that they were a bit kind of lethargic to start with when I first got them. But in appearance wise, they looked, after a while, just so much better. They looked healthier. So I think that for a big flock of birds, definitely made a huge difference to them.
Good. Yeah, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed is what you always want to see. And I think I think one thing I learned quite quickly was getting them through the winter. If you can get budgies through winters, you're doing the right things. If you have a lot of sick birds come January, February, March, or they're not looking very good, then you need to make some changes. And I think, you know, I mean, I don't think you've never said that you'd lost any birds over the winter. So, you know.
I think from taking them in a year gone February, I lost a couple quite early on.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have just been that they were poorly to start with, or with moving them and the stress of it. But touch wood, so far we're doing all right. Yeah.
Good.
I don't know whether you can see on one of the photographs that I sent you, but in the safety porch, you can see obviously the mesh, and then there's the bedroom bit, as we call it, behind. When it came up about them not being good with drafts, obviously I've got an oil-filled radiator in there for the winter, so that's on in case the temperature drops, it's thermostated. But they also have a curtain that I pull across in front of the mesh, because my worry is that they'd get a draft from the door that's in the safety porch bit. So rather than them get a draft, obviously the curtain's on the other side, so they can't do it. But honestly, if you'd heard me hubby when I said to him, I want a curtain pole putting up, he was like, I can't believe this. I don't want them to get a draft. I want them to be all right. They are the most pampered flock of budgies.
Brilliant.
I saw it in one of the photos and I thought, oh, that sounds like it's like a new thing, like a bit of a fashion statement with aviaries that you now put curtains up.
When Julie goes big time on Avery designer, when she gets designer of the year for it, it'll be like, curtains are the in thing one year.
I have to say though, it was one of my mother-in-law's old curtains, and it's like, it's proper from the 80s, with the big patterns on it.
Perhaps next year it'll be, delicate, pastel colours.
Soft greys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Brilliant. Oh dear. Okay, right. Well, thank you very much, ladies. Been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Good. We'll do it again at some point because there's an awful lot of topics we haven't covered. So
definitely. Yeah.
Super. Thank you very much.